Welcome to Fertility 121. Let's talk. Let's cut through the noise and discuss a no BS one-on-one conversation on a filtered topic around fertility, but in an unfiltered fashion. Joining me today in the studio are Vnabi and Varusha. They are the actual representatives of Gen Z. They are 26-year-old females, and soon we will get to introduce them. And I am the host for the show, Doel. I am an IVF lab director at Indore Infertility Clinic, and we are situated at Indore. So Gen Z, the actual youth of the country, today for them, it's all about figuring out life. They are currently at a stage where they are figuring things out, whether be it profession, career, or life in general. And fertility is not on their mind. But unfortunately, fertility or the biological clock doesn't wait. So let's welcome our first guest, Vnabi. Like I mentioned, Vnabi is 26 years old. बिल्कुल apt representation of the Gen Z है at the right age. और हमारे लिए एक बहुत important segment हो आप वैष्णवी, because आप हमारे कंट्री का यूथ रिप्रेजेंट करती हो और हमारे वो कहते हैं ना देश की बागडोर आपके हाथों में है. सो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड कि आप कितना समझते हैं, कितना नहीं समझते, और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट क्या समझना जरूरी है आज जब हम बात करते हैं फर्टिलिटी या रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ की. So let's welcome Vnabi to the show. Vnabi is 26 years old. She is a fashion graduate from Indore. She co-owns V-Style Up. They specialize in giving social media and digital presence to new brands. And साथ में she also specializes in fashion photography. And Vnabi, थोड़ा और अपने बारे में तुम ही बता दो तो अच्छा.
Hi everyone, I'm a fashion stylist based out of Indore. I also work as a content creator, as a freelancer, and I like to work in a creative field, and I'm really happy to be here.
तो इस सवालों का सिलसिला शुरू करते हैं, and let's start with the basic questions first, and I hope इन सवालों और उनके जवाबों के जरिए आप जैसे और जितने लोग हैं, you know, with this age group especially, वो शायद कुछ नया सीख जाए. Let's get started. तो वैष्णवी, पहला सवाल, एक नॉर्मल हेल्दी फीमेल की कितनी ओवरीज होती हैं?
Like I have read about it, so I know this answer. Like there are 2 ovaries.
अच्छा, मुझे लगा 1 बता रही थी. You can keep that, it's okay. All right, good, pretty good.
Okay.
ओवरीज को हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं?
I have no idea about that.
Okay. अंडाशय, अंडा, एग, ओवरीज एग प्रोड्यूस करते हैं, तो अंडाशय यानी जो एग्स होते हैं वो ओवरीज. तो हिंदी इज अंडाशय. मुझे पता था, तुम्हें नहीं पता होगा.
Okay.
So the next question, हर साइकिल में, हर मंथली साइकिल, जो पीरियड टू पीरियड जो टर्म होता है ना, मंथली मेंस्ट्रुअल साइकिल जिसे बोलते हैं, हर साइकिल में एक हेल्दी वुमन कितने एग्स रिलीज करती है अपने ओवरीज से?
I guess 1 egg in 1 cycle.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right. ठीक है. So the next one, menstrual cycle, जो पूरा मंथली साइकिल होता है, टिपिकली एक हेल्दी फीमेल की बात करें तो ऑन एन एवरेज कितने डेज का होता है?
The whole cycle, like when
Yes,
it repeats.
yes, repeats, yeah. Period to period.
I guess 28-30 days.
Good.
28 to 30 days.
चलो, थोड़ा बेसिक तो आता है. I'm guessing कि जेन जी का वो चैप्टर रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ वाला, क्लास 9 वाला, वो स्किप नहीं हुआ था जो हमारा स्किप हो गया था.
Yes, it was helpful.
Okay. क्या इंडियन फीमेल्स का फर्टिलिटी पीरियड, जैसे कि इफ यू एंटर menses at the age of say 13 and you get your menopause at the age of 43, so you have an entire how many years? 30 years of fertile period. So is that fertile period common for all women worldwide? Yeah, Indian women have more fertile, longer fertile period as compared to the Western world. Yeah, shorter. What do you think?
I feel all over the world similar होता है, and it also depends on everyone's lifestyle.
So let's see what the statistics have to say about this.
नॉर्मली फीमेल्स की फर्टिलिटी मिड 20s या लेट 20s तक पीक पर रहती है और 30s के बाद धीरे धीरे डिक्लाइन होती है. 35 की उम्र के बाद यही डिक्लाइन बहुत तेज़ी से यानी बहुत रैपिडली होती है. रिसर्च के अनुसार हेल्दी इंडियन वुमेन का AMH लेवल उनके वेस्टर्न काउंटरपार्ट यानी यूरोपियन एंड ऑस्ट्रेलियन वुमेन से तकरीबन 20% कम होता है। यही कारण है कि इंडियन वुमेन को उनके वेस्टर्न काउंटरपार्ट से करीबन 6 साल पहले मेनोपॉज हो जाता है। इंडियन वुमेन में ओवेरियन रिजर्व के कम होने के बहुत से कारण हो सकते हैं, जैसे जेनेटिक डिफरेंसेस, लाइफस्टाइल, एनवायरनमेंट एंड सोशियो इकोनॉमिक डिफरेंसेस। और ये एक बहुत बड़ा रिसर्च का।
Do you understand what is STD? Have you heard this term STD?
Yes, I have heard about it.
So what is STD? And does it impact or cause infertility?
Okay, I know that STD is sexually transmitted diseases, and you can get it through sexual intercourse. And मुझे ये भी पता है इसके अंदर multiple diseases आते हैं, like HIV, AIDS, chlamydia,
Yes, multiple.
and
There are,
everything.
I think, worldwide काफी
Yes.
सारे हैं, 6 or more caused by various bacteria, protozoa, सब अलग अलग रहता है,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
So do you think that having or getting an STD can impact your fertility or impact your chances of having a baby?
I think so. I have heard there is one type of STD. I can't remember the name. It causes infertility. Like there is 1 or 2 type of STDs which can cause infertility in both men and women.
Have you heard about tuberculosis? TB, tuberculosis. Can you get tuberculosis in your reproductive organs?
No, I'm not aware about that.
So let us see what the experts have to say on that, and especially data around Indian women.
ट्यूबरक्लोसिस सिर्फ लंग्स तक लिमिटेड नहीं है। जब टीबी रिप्रोडक्टिव ऑर्गन्स को इम्पैक्ट करता है तो उसे जेनिटल ट्यूबरक्लोसिस या जेनिटल टीबी कहते हैं। जेनिटल टीबी कितनी % लोगों को अफेक्ट करता है ये पता करना थोड़ा डिफ़िकल्ट है, बिकॉज इन मोस्ट केसेस इट इज़ एसिम्प्टोमेटिक, यानी इसके कोई सिम्टम्स नहीं होते। बट इनफर्टिलिटी के जितने भी केसेस आते हैं उनमें से फीमेल इनफर्टिलिटी के रफली 15% केसेस में इनफर्टिलिटी की वजह जेनिटल टीबी हो सकता है। जेनिटल ट्यूबरक्लोसिस या जेनिटल टीबी का इन्फेक्शन 90% ऑफ द टाइम्स फैलोपियन ट्यूब को अफेक्ट करता है और करीब करीब 10% ऑफ द टाइम्स यूट्रस को। जब टीबी ट्यूब्स को इन्फेक्ट करता है तब फैलोपियन ट्यूब्स ब्लॉक हो सकती हैं और इसे ट्यूबल फैक्टर इनफर्टिलिटी भी कहते हैं। ऐसे में नेचुरली कंसीव करना मुश्किल होता है और कपल्स को IVF का रास्ता अपनाना पड़ता है टू कंसीव।
So the next question, इंडिया में इनफर्टिलिटी का इंसिडेंस यानी कितने % ऑफ कपल इनफर्टिलिटी फेस करते हैं, आपको आइडिया है?
Yes, I have read about it somewhere. Around 10 to 18%, I guess.
So 1 in 6 couples, they do face infertility. Do you think the rich segment, or that's not a good word, I would say upper middle class जो segment रहता है urban cities में, do you think उनमें infertility की incidence as compared to the lower strata, lower segment, lower middle class, इस segment से ज़्यादा होती है, ऐसा आपको लगता है?
मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता है, क्योंकि they are more aware about all this, so they can take more precautions compared to people in rural area. So that's my point of.
Do you think working women face infertility more as compared to women who don't work?
I think so, because once again lifestyle उनकी different होती है. They have more stress and working hours, sleep schedule उनका पूरा बिगड़ा हुआ होता है. तो I think it can be one of the points जिसकी वजह से infertility बढ़।
तो चलिए देखते हैं statistics and worldwide data infertility के incidence को कैसे define करते हैं।
इनफर्टिलिटी का वर्ल्ड वाइड इंसिडेंस मेजर करने के लिए WHO एज वेल एज ग्लोबल बर्डन ऑफ डिजीजेस के द्वारा सर्वेस किए गए। इन सर्वेस का रिजल्ट 2022 में पब्लिश हुआ एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस सर्वे ग्लोबली 1 in 6 कपल्स फेस इनफर्टिलिटी। 2 और नए टर्म्स इंट्रोड्यूस हुए, जैसे कि एस्टिमेटेड लाइफ टाइम प्रेवलेंस ऑफ इनफर्टिलिटी एंड एस्टिमेटेड पीरियड प्रेवलेंस ऑफ इनफर्टिलिटी। सिंपल टर्म्स में इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर किसी इंडिविजुअल के पूरे लाइफ टाइम में उसे किसी भी पॉइंट पर इनफर्टिलिटी फेस हुआ तो उसे लाइफ टाइम प्रेवलेंस ऑफ इनफर्टिलिटी में इंक्लूड किया जाता है। अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस सर्वे लाइफ टाइम इनफर्टिलिटी प्रेवलेंस एज वेल एज पीरियड इनफर्टिलिटी प्रेवलेंस दोनों ही हाई इनकम कंट्रीज में ज़्यादा है एवरेज से। इंडिया में NFHS यानी नेशनल फैमिली हेल्थ सर्वे NFHS 5 इनफर्टिलिटी के इंसिडेंस को टोटल फर्टिलिटी रेट के रूप में डिफाइन करती है. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू NFHS द टोटल फर्टिलिटी रेट ऑफ इंडिया हैज़ रिड्यूस्ड. उसी सर्वे के अनुसार ये भी देखा गया कि इंडिया की कुछ स्टेट स्पेशली द सदर्न स्टेट वहाँ पे इनफर्टिलिटी का इंसिडेंस अबव 20% पाया जाता है. इट इज़ अ नो ब्रेनर दैट फर्टिलिटी रेट एजुकेटेड विमेन की उनके अनएजुकेटेड काउंटर पार्ट से मच लोअर है.
So, my next question is, have you heard the term social freezing? Is that a term that you have heard?
No, I have not heard about it.
Have you heard egg freezing? Egg freezing सुना है कभी?
Yes, actually I've heard about it and वो भी movies में देखा है about egg freezing, surrogacy and all this. ये topics movies में ज़्यादा देखने में आए हैं comparatively.
So basically, social freezing is nothing but preserving your fertility through oocyte or egg freezing. जो आप social reasons, which is like you want to delay a family having a kid because of your career or whatever reason, उसको social freezing कहते हैं. So since you're not married now, but I am sure that by this age you have figured out whether you want to have a family or not, right? So do you want to have a family sometime in near future?
Yes, I have thought about it and it does make me anxious thinking about it. Like there is societal pressure about it as well. I have seen it in my family that you need to have kids and everything. You need to get married on time. So I have thought about it, but I have not planned ahead. So I guess I'll learn something here. What should I do about all this?
So since you don't know what egg freezing is, I'm guessing you have seen a movie, so you know what it is roundabout. So you have heard about it. You kind of know that you can go ahead and freeze your egg. You might not know the procedure, but you at least know that there is this option available. So what do you think would be the right age for freezing eggs, for social freezing reasons?
I guess around mid-20s to late 30s, it's the best time because in your early 20s, you don't know anything about all this and you are not even capable of making such decision. But with time in your mid-20s to 30s, you can make a serious and very important decision about your future.
You gave a very long time frame, mid-20s to mid-30s, which is like 10 years, right? And also you yourself mentioned that the fertility is going to start to decline once you start reaching, cross 30, right? So if you have to give me a shorter duration of when exactly does it make sense to freeze eggs, would you know when that would be?
I actually meant from when you're 25 to when you're 30, like that's fine, like the 5-year gap.
So before 30 you should, if you plan to freeze your eggs, then before 30 is a good time according to you, right?
Yes, I think so. That's the perfect time.
So basically, just to clear a little bit, not everything can be shown statistically. Egg freezing, the ideal age is the sooner you decide after your 25 years old. Like you mentioned, early 20s is not your peak. Peak fertility for an Indian woman would be around the age of 25, between 25 to 28 actually. And the sooner you decide to, that you want to go ahead and freeze your egg, then probably it makes sense to do it sooner than later. So that would be it. And we can see a short video to see how it is done. But do you have any questions around this? Is that something that actually interests you and do you want to know about it?
Yeah, I actually don't know. Like I think it's one of the most important topics. Like how much, if someone is thinking about it, I want to know like how much would it cost someone?
Okay, so actually I was going to ask the same question to you.
Okay.
Do you know how much is it going to cost?
No, actually I have no idea about
It's going
this.
to cost you less than iPhone 17 Pro Max if that is the answer you're looking for. So if you're asking about the cost of egg freezing, then the cost would definitely be dependent on the tier 1 or tier 2 cities. Like metros, it will cost you more because the IVF cycle itself will cost more in a metro city. But if you're talking about Indore and likes, for a tier 2 city, I think a typical IVF cycle would cost you anywhere between 1.5 to 2 lakhs, anything under that. So the egg freezing is definitely going to be within 1.5 lakhs. So between 1 to 1.5 lakhs. It again depends on which clinic you are going to. A better facility guarantees that your eggs, the ones that you're actually wanting to freeze, are frozen at a proper temperature, taken care of for a duration of, according to the ART law, you can freeze it for 10 years at least.
I also wanted to know from you, जैसे इसकी awareness बढ़ रही है धीरे धीरे, so are people actually coming in for consultants and getting their eggs freezed?
Yes, actually they are, but unfortunately they are coming at a very late age. We would ideally, like I mentioned, want to freeze eggs as soon as you can. I think even by late 20s, if you're not married, and most of the time people are sure about what they want in their life or not, then that is a good age to freeze egg, even early 30s. But coming at 35, as late as 35, and then wanting to egg freeze, it is challenging. It's not impossible, but it is challenging, and it requires multiple cycles of egg freezing, which sometimes the person is not ready for committing, either financially or even mentally. So do you think if you freeze eggs, you will definitely be able to have a child later on, whenever, after 8 years, 9 years? Do you think that it guarantees that?
I don't think so, क्योंकि as far as I know, body पे भी depend करता है, right? If the body is ready to conceive or not, like if the body is able to handle it or not.
So very honestly, as you age, if you are generally in good health, even late 30s and early 40s is not that late, uterus and general health wise, to take that pregnancy to term. It is the ovaries which age the fastest, and it declines after the age 35 exponentially. So I think more than being worried about whether you'll be able to take the pregnancy to term, it is about whether you'll be left with enough eggs. Now this is an interesting one. Do you think having multiple sexual partners can influence or can lead to more incidences of infertility later on?
No.
All right, let's see what the experts have to say on this.
Having multiple sexual partners can put you at risk of contracting sexually transmitted infections, yani STIs, like chlamydia, herpes, HPV, HIV, and even hepatitis B and C. And STIs can cause tubal factor infertility. That is, they can block your fallopian tube. And blocked fallopian tube से conceive होने में दिक्कत हो सकती है. But using a barrier method of contraception like a condom can reduce your risk of contracting STIs.
So do you think use of emergency contraceptive pills can lead to infertility later on, or increase the chance of having fertility issues?
I actually have never heard about it, that it leads to infertility or anything, but I would definitely like to know about it.
A doctor's view on this.
Emergency contraceptives, if used as advised and sparingly, do not seem to have any long-term impact on one's fertility. However, since the emergency contraceptive pills have very high dose of hormones, they usually result in short-term hormonal imbalance within the body. Also, the use of emergency contraceptive pills by itself means that one has indulged in an unprotected intercourse that definitely again exposes you or your partner to sexually transmitted diseases or STIs. And like we have seen before, STIs can cause tubal factor infertility.
So well, I think at least I learned a few things from you, that Gen Z को इतना कम भी पता नहीं है, but इतना सारा भी पता नहीं है, and little learning is always dangerous. So इसलिए I am hoping that people like you can learn something from this, and I hope you also learn something out of it.
Definitely. Like, I can't believe कि मुझे इतनी कम information पता थी. I really just knew the basics of this, and I agree with you. Everyone in our age should know about all this, even though we have access to phones, to internet, but we still don't know anything about this. Thank you so much for this.
That's the idea. If we get the conversation started, then you can always think about what choices you have. You may choose to have a family, you may not choose. Let's not be judgmental. It's completely a decision of your generation, but at least knowing and having conversations around it equips you with choices that you should take at the right time. Thank you.